Right. Shalom, 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 Israel. Right. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yah Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rikakadash. Right. It's your brother Hezekiah here with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yah Bashim Yahushua. Right. Once again, I also want to give double honor to the elders and apostles of the house of David. Right. Mainly of great millstone, who's been teaching this truth for decades and decades. Right. And before I get started again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yah Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rikakadash, and shalom to the elect, man. Right. So the name of this title will be, right, Are You a Drunkard? Right. Are you a drunkard? And what I mean by being a drunkard is basically it's the biblical term or terminology of being an alcoholic, right? Being addicted to alcohol, right? You always drinking, right? Always drunk. You get pissy drunk, blacked out drunk, and been thinking about this because a lot of brothers, struggle with, drinking, and brothers do a lot of daytime drinking and wine and liquor, dark liquor. Some brothers drink for the whole day, man. And that's basically their day. So before I really get started and go in depth into this, there's nothing wrong with drinking, right? Drinking is not a sin. It's only a sin when you become an alcoholic. You're always doing it, right? You always got a damn drink in your hand. That's when it's a sin. You can't become a drunkard, right? So let's go to the book of we'll start off with the book of Sirach. Sirach chapter 31. Right. Sirach chapter 31, verse number 27. It say, wine is as good as life to a man if he be drunk moderately, right? You're supposed to drink in moderation. When it means to be drinking in moderation, it means you're drinking, right, but you're drinking responsibly, right? You're not always drinking. You're drinking probably on different occasions, right? You might have a drink once a week. You might have a drink twice a week. But every time somebody look at you, you should not have a drink in your hand, right? So you drink in moderation, right? We can get that word. Let's get the definition for moderation. What it means it say the avoidance of excess or extremes, especially in one's behavior or political opinions, right? So it means to have self-control, discipline, right? You're supposed to have discipline when you dealing with alcohol, right? Because if you don't have discipline, it can get you jammed up, right? It can get you killed, or you get yourself killed, right? Be drinking and driving, right? It also means to have self-control, self-restraint, temperance, right? When you go into that word temperance, that's the fruits of the spirit as well. When you got temperance, it means you have self-control, right? And it reads, well, we'll start from the top, right? And it say, wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunk moderately. What life is thin to a man that is without wine, right? Why? For wine is made to make man glad, right? Especially at the feast days, right? We have a feast day and we get together. We brothers have a drink. Brothers might want to drink some yan, which is wine. Some brothers might want to drink some Henny, right? Some Casamigos, whatever brothers like. We take that day to relax, chill, and be merry, man, because, we in captivity, and, brothers be having hard, strenuous jobs. You gotta deal with taking care of your family, doing the work. This life can get very forbearing. So, the feast days is for us to relax, man. have a good time, with our families and our brother and our Akim and our Akwafi. It's to bring us joy, right? And they say, why measurably drunk in season bringeth gladness. Well, you drink it for occasion, like I said, for the new moons, for the high holy days, for the feast days. It brings you happiness. It actually relaxes you, right? It makes you merry, right? You just drinking all the damn time, now you just hurting yourself at that point. But if it's just drunk in moderation, it's drunk for a purpose, occasions. Hey, it's to the point where, hey man, you can actually enjoy it, right? Having a good time. You know what I'm saying? But wine, alcohol must be done. You gotta have discipline, man. You gotta have discipline. It say wine measurably drunk in season bringeth gladness of the heart, right? It brings gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. It's been times, man. I had going through something in my life, man. And, feast day come around, and you have a drink. You get brothers get tipsy. You know what I'm saying? You get to walking around teasing, and you be happy. You really be happy. You really be happy, man. It really brings you gladness. You can't stop laughing. You're around your brothers. You know what I'm saying? It's made for that, man. That brings you gladness, right? You shouldn't be waking up chasing the drink, right? First thing you do is it's 8 o'clock in the morning. You at the liquor store. You shouldn't do that, brother. Right? You have to have discipline. And nothing wrong with getting you a drink. Even if you do drink every day, it should be done. You got to know when is your limit. You might have a shot, a couple shots. You might get you a beer. You might get you some wine. It should be a limit. You know what I'm saying? Don't just drink to get drunk. To get that high. Right? Some brothers drink because they going through sorrow. But that's why I say, give drink to him that is ready to perish. Right? We're going to read that. And it say, but wine drinketh with excess, maketh bitterness of the mind. Right? You drink too much alcohol, man, you get to bugging out. Right? You get to thinking about what your brother, your Ogden, did 5 years ago. Right? And you get to thinking about it. Right? Now you want to fight. Right? And it say, drunkenness increases. It say, but wine drinketh with excess maketh bitterness of the mind, with brawling and quarreling. Right? Now you ready to fight. Now you get to talking all type of shit, and and it seen it happen plenty of times, man. Right? And it say, drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend. Right? You end up offending the brother end up beating your ass, and brother, if you drunk and the brother go get the best of you, man. Because when you drunk, it make you docile. It make you weak. And let's go explain that. It said, drunkenness increases the rage of a fool till he offend. It diminishes strength and maketh wounds. Now, brother get to beating your ass, man. Excuse my language, brother get to beating your ass. You kind of gotta take that ass whooping, man, because you're not gonna be at your full strength, being drunk. Right, so that's something to understand, right? And when you drunk, man, you're not in your right state of mind. Right, you're not in your right state of mind. So let's go to the classic. Let's go to Isaiah 5. Isaiah chapter 5. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 5. In verse number 11. It say, woe, right? Woe means distress, destruction. It say, woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, right? That continue until, that continue until night to wine and flame them, man. And you drinking all day. You drinking from sun up to sundown, right? That's going off, man. Right? The scriptures tell you to be sober-minded. Right? It tells you to watch and pray. You can't watch and pray being drunk. Then all type of spirits get to start hopping on you. It's just madness, man. Just madness. All right. Now, let's go to Proverbs. Now, I've been around a fair share of alcoholics in my life. You know, my father was an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic, and what I seen alcohol do to him, you know, I'm not gonna sit up here and say I never had a drink before. You know, I will drink occasionally, but me going to drink every day, I'll go months. You know, I'll go months without having a drink. You know, because it's just not. It's not good for your body. You know, this food. The food already not good for your body. Now you just putting poison in your body. But ain't nothing wrong with having some wine. You know, some cup of red wine. But I just seen what wine and alcohol did to my biological father. And it made me not want to go down that road, right? Because I never seen anything good out of being a drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing with dealing with drugs, dealing with alcohol. I mean, you know, alcohol, weed, drugs, and if you don't have discipline, it destroys your life, and it not only destroys your life, it destroys the ones that are around you, right? So I've seen how destructive that alcohol can be when a person is undisciplined. Then they do go down the alcoholic route, and it's just very, very dangerous. You know, very, very dangerous. Because like the scripture said, when a person is drunk, they get real bitter of the mind, and the truth coming out, man. The truth coming out when somebody is drunk. So brother might have issues, and you might not like a brother. It's gonna come out. You know, somebody end up getting hurt. I done seen plenty of people get killed drunk. They get hit by cars, all type of stuff, man. You know, Most High really sent a serious judgment on that. You know, even dealing with Deuteronomy 21st chapter, dealing with the glutton, the rebellious son. He was a drunk, right? He was a drunk, and he got stoned to death. All right, but this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 1. They say, wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Right? Constantly picking up that drink. It ain't doing nothing but hurting you, man. It might seem appetizing. You know, they might come out with a new flavor. Right? Henny might be your favorite drink. Right? It might be your favorite wine. But at the end of the day, it's there to hurt you. It's there to deceive you. Right? Even though it was made to make man glad, when you keep doing it so excessively, you ain't doing nothing but destroying yourself. Right? You get to saying, a couple shots won't hurt. All right, then you're gonna say a couple shots won't hurt. Now you drinking the whole damn bottle. Now you drinking a whole pint by yourself. Right? That's what it means by wine is a mocker. Oh, it won't hurt. You drink a beer. Next thing you know, you're drinking 2 beers. Now you're on your 10th beer. Right? So it does that. Wine, not necessarily wine, but strong drink. Wine, well, yeah, you can say wine too, because wine drunk excessively can do the same thing to you. But it can really destroy your life. if you let it. Right? If you let it. Right, let's get to Proverbs 23. It's Proverbs 23 and 29. It said, who have woe, right? Remember, woe means destruction. Who have woe? Who have sorrow? Who have contentions? Who have babbling? Who have wounds without cause? Who have redness of the eyes? That they tarry long at the wine, that they go and seek mixed wine. Look not thou upon wine when it is red, when it giveth his color, and the cup when it moveth itself aright. At the last it biteth like a serpent and stingeth like an adder, right? Because you pour your wine in your cup, and I done seen plenty of alcohol in my life that, hey, it kind of tastes like juice. It kind of tastes like juice, and it look like juice, right? And when you pour it in the cup, it looks appetizing, and you get to drinking it, and you're like, hey man, this shit ain't doing nothing to me, man. And you get up, you're in your fourth, your fifth, your sixth, your seventh, your eighth, and then it bites you like I said, it bites like an adder. It stings like an adder, bites like a serpent, and stinging like an adder. Right? I didn't see plenty of people tell me, hey, you better be careful, it'll sneak up on you. Right? So you gotta be careful, man. All right. Let's go back to Sirach. Sirach 31. All right. So we're gonna read verse. Right, verse 31. Right, Sirach 31 and 31. It say, rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine, and despise him not in his mirth. Give him no despiteful words, and press not upon him with the urging him to drink. Right, so that means, you might be at the feast day, and the brother might be having a good time. He might have a little wine, a little bit more drink than he's supposed to. Basically saying let the brother enjoy himself, right? And we're gonna get another translation just to make sure or verify that what I'm saying is true. All right, this is Sirach 31:31 in a Good News translation. It say, never rebuke a person when you both have been drinking. Don't hurt his feelings while he is having a good time. It is not the time to criticize anyone or to ask him to pay back a debt. Right? So you're having a good time, man. Hey, don't ruin that brother night. That brother's having a good time. Trying to stop him, or bro, you having too many drinks. Hey, let him chill, but don't encourage him to drink more. Right? Let him enjoy himself. Let him get his limit. Because remember, man, it's the feast day. It's the feast day. Everybody having a good time. Brothers go drink. That's just what it is. All right? So that's what that is going into. Sirach 31:31. All right? Let's go to 1 Peter. Right, now it's time to get into the being sober part. Right. This book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse number 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking who he may devour. Right? So you gotta watch, right? Because when you drunk right? You're not in your right state of mind. You're docile. You don't know what's really going on. Spirits hop on you. Anything can happen. People try you while you're drunk. People know that when you're in your right state of mind, they normally can't get what they want out of you. They wait till you're drunk. Like dealing with women. What do men do when they want something from a woman? Or they want to, have sex with a woman? They buy them drinks. They get them tipsy. They get them a little over the edge. And basically, when you get a woman loose, they real easy to entice, right? So you got to be sober. You got to be in your right state of mind. Cause you don't know when the enemy gonna come through. You don't know what shaitan gonna come through, right? And we know who the devil is in this context. He's talking about a man, right? The devil doesn't mean deceiver, right? So once we understand that, it's best to stay sober. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse number 6. Therefore let us not sleep as others do. Right, so therefore let us sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Right? Or they that sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Right? So these verses is explaining what's the number one thing is to be sober. Be sober minded. Right? Let's go to Luke 21. Right? Even Yahushua said, right? Luke 21 and Matthew 26 and 41. Hey, watch and pray. Right? It's Luke 21 and 34. It's saying, take heed to yourselves. At any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering, right? And drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unaware, right? So don't be sober. Don't drink your sorrows away, right? You want to be sober-minded. You want to understand what's going on, because remember, the day of the Lord come as a thief in the night. And you want to be aware of what's going on in today's world, because the signs are very, very clear, right? And it's not just talking about being physically drunk, right? It's talking about in spiritually drunk, right? Going off, being lazy, man, not going into the prophecies, not reading, not studying, not doing what Yahweh Shemiyah tell you to do, not just being comfortable, man. All right, that's what that's going into as well. It's double fold, right? So let's go back to 1 Peter. All right, this is 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse number